plaintiff, Chanel Jefferson, liked the way the defendant did hair, so she went to her to get a sew-in weave. Chanel claims she went back to the defendant a short time later because she didn't like the hair anymore. And after the defendant took the weave out, she kept it. Chanel suing for the cost of the hair and emotional distress. Defendant Casey Bly says when Chanel came in to get her weave sewn in, she only had hair remnants with her, not a brand new package of hair. Casey insists Chanel took the hair with her. Therefore, she doesn't owe. She's countersuing for defamation.
Start with you.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. I'm just really upset that I had to come all the way from California to Chicago because she stole my hair from me. I met her because she needed a model for her hair show in LA. So it was a whole day. I mean, I volunteered my time. I went out of my way for her, and I just can't believe that she stole my hair.
And where did you know her from?
My sister introduced us.
Okay. Ma'am, you want to give me some background?
Sure, Your Honor. I've been doing hair for 12 years. I've been at the same salon for 9 of those 12, and I have never been accused of anything. I mean, nothing. I have statements from coworkers as well as clients that have never had a negative experience with me. And the fact that...
They say you never stole from them?
Yeah.
They say you never stole from them?
Well, they say that I'm a person of character.
Maybe they didn't catch you. I will see. But you're not answering my question. You ever steal from any of them?
No, sir. No, I've never stole from anyone. And so the fact that we are here, and she wants to say that, you know, she gave me her time, and that's very true. But she didn't say that I provided shoes, an outfit, lunch, and if she would have needed anything else, I would have provided that.
Where you get them from, Booster?
No, sir. No.
You know I'm having fun with you.
No, sir. And so it's just to say that we never had a negative experience until this incident.
All right, you tell me the specifics here.
So after the hair show, I liked her, we got along great. So I went back to her so she could do a sew and weave for me. And I brought my own hair.
Did she do your hair for the show?
She did my hair for the show.
She gave you a weave?
She did a sew and ponytail weave.
All right.
So I had her do a full sew and weave for me with my own hair that
The first one was a ponytail weave?
She provided the hair and...
Excuse me, go on, get Debbie, our hairstylist, because I'm already kind of confused.
Okay.
I don't know the difference between the various weaves. So, I just don't. And this is getting unbe-weavable, so.
Hi, everybody.
He's getting all confused.
Okay.
Yeah, Debbie, we have a weave case, and she's already mentioned 2 types of weaves, and I don't know how many types there are. So, she's saying when she dealt with the defendant the first time, she received a sew-in weave. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and then you went back to get a full sew-in.
Yes.
All right. So why are we here?
So I came back to her a month after because the weave, it wasn't hot, it wasn't holding up long to my satisfaction. So I went back to her so she could take it out.
How long was it supposed to hold up?
They normally last like 3 months, at least. Mine can go for 3 months.
And you came back 1 month later?
Yes.
What was it doing wrong?
I didn't like my hair anymore. I wasn't hot, so I just wanted to change my hairstyle.
You wasn't what?
Hot.
You weren't hot,
no.
meaning good looking?
Yeah, I wasn't cute.
Okay.
So
you just didn't like the way,
I just didn't like the way it looked.
your style.
I just didn't like the way it was looking.
Your style.
Right.
All right. Debbie, what have you heard so far? She got this done, then she wanted that done. What am I hearing so far?
Okay, what I'm understanding is that she did a hair show for the young lady here, where she gave her a high pony. That means that she had her hair up and you sewed it around, am I correct? Like a ponytail, and it was long.
I actually weaved, so I braided a perimeter around and I weaved it so that we could pull it into a ponytail.
Pull it into a ponytail. And the young lady says, okay, she did my hair. I want to come in. I want to let her weave my hair again. So she brings in her hair, 9 out of 10, premium hair.
Right.
So she has her to do her hair. A month later, normally, like she said, a great weave will last you anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Hers was coming down, so she says, you know what?
She didn't say that. She said she didn't like it anymore.
She didn't like it. Well,
then it had nothing to do with not coming down. You working with her?
No.
Why you misinterpreting the word?
What she said.
Why don't you just get on over there?
No. I'm right here.
Yeah.
She said that it was loosening up. Am I correct?
She said she didn't like it. That was the whole purpose of wanting it changed.
She said that she didn't like it. It wasn't sexy or hot anymore.
Well, you do the same thing you do in the back. You want to go back and forth with me. You know it all. Debbie, know it all. That's enough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have any more I asked for. That woman ain't said that. That's not what she said. That is not what she said. She didn't say something was wrong with it. You said you wanted it different because it wasn't hot. You wanted a different style.
I wanted her to remove the sew and weave and do a glue and weave for me this time. This is a temporary thing. It only lasts like a few weeks. So I brought 2 packets of inexpensive hair just to get me through until my stylist was available to do my hair. So I get to her shop at about approximately 12 o'clock. When I come in, I explain to her that I need to leave at 2:30 because I need to go pick up my daughter from school. She gets out of school at 2:30 and I need to be out of there by 2:30. So by this point, she's still doing my hair. It's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock at this point, and I'm like, you know, getting really anxious and
so what happened?
Frustrated. So I rushed out of the store, rushed out of her shop to go pick up my daughter. And then I text her 2 days later, and I let her know that I left my hair. I left my hair at her shop. She texted me back saying, I texted her that I left my hair and can she put it up for me? She replied to my text and said, sure, I put it up, like she had already put it up.
Okay.
I went back to her shop to go pick up my hair, and she said, this is all I have. So when I look at the package that she threw at me, I realized that it wasn't the hair that I brought in. I had no idea what kind of hair that was.
So what do you think happened?
I think she has it, and she just doesn't want to give it back to me because...
Okay, so you think she stole the hair that you left?
Yeah, she won't give it back to me.
Okay. Why did you wait 2 days?
I was just... I told my sister right away that I left my hair there.
Why did you wait 2 days to call her?
Just because I was just busy with my life, and I thought my hair...
Same reason you ran out and left it?
No,
was the same reason you didn't call her for 2 days because your busy life?
You're right.
You tell me, ma'am, what happened?
While there are sprinkles of the truth in there, it's not the whole truth and nothing but the truth. When she originally came and got the weave put in, first of all, she brought bag-o hair. It wasn't like fresh out of a pack like normally it comes this way, packaged. It was just remnants of hair. She laid them out and told me, oh, well, this is a group and this is a group. And she wanted me to piece the weave together for her, which I did. Everything was fine. So she left, enjoyed the weave apparently for a month, and then when she came back to have it taken out, not only did she get a quick weave, she had the weave taken out, a relaxer put in, and the quick weave put in. So before I start her relaxer, which is a chemical service, I have a limited amount of workspace, so I have photos of my workstation.
See it, please.
And the client...
So what happened with her hair? Is it still her hair or not?
No, sir. When I got done taking it out, I put it in a bag, the bag that she brought this in, and I put it by her purse. The bench that you see in the photo is where 98% of my clients put their purse. So I put it over there. I start her relaxer, take her to the shampoo bowl, I blow dried her, put in the quick weave, and she was in a hurry. So she left in a hurry, but she grabbed her purse, and I'm assuming the hair because I don't have it. She said, can I pay you later? I said, no problem. She said, can I bring it to your house? I said, no problem. She calls me, she brings me the money, no mention of hair.
This is the same day?
This is the same day, that night.
She came back that night?
No, she came to my house at 8:30.
That same day?
That same night.
Is that true?
I came back to her house, yes.
You told me you didn't communicate with her for 2 days.
About the hair. I didn't communicate with her about the hair for 2 days.
You didn't remember that you had left your hair?
I did, but I didn't tell her that.
So you knew that same night that you had left your hair?
I did.
But you didn't bother to tell her then?
No.
You waited 2 days later?
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you the problem you have. One, you left it. That was your mistake.
I did.
She has no duty to cover for your mistakes. She has absolutely no duty. If you lose your hair comb there or forget your hair comb and particularly don't come back for 2 days, she don't have a duty to pay you. You left your hair comb. That's your mistake. She did nothing wrong. What's your counterclaim for defamation? How has she defamed you?
The fact that she talked to, I know her as Mommy.
She talked to Mommy, and what she tell Mommy?
She told Mommy that she was going to file a police report on me for stealing her hair.
Okay.
And the fact that, and then mommy is she's a braider,
All
but
right,
she's still
ma'am,
in
you
the
want to stand?
Yeah.
State your name.
Marieto?
Did she tell you that she had stole her hair?
Yeah.
All right, good enough. And ma'am, I'm going to grant her defamation. No, I'm going to grant her defamation. She says you told your witness that she stole your hair.
No,
Your witness said it. That is indeed defamation unless you can prove that it's true. And you have been unable to prove that it's true today. It's no more, Your Honor. A person doesn't have a responsibility when you lose something. And you definitely haven't proven this woman stole something. And that's certainly defamation. That's the worst thing you can say about a person in business, that they stole from their customer. Judgment for the defendant, $1,000. Yours is dismissed. Have a good day.
She knows she has my hair, so.
I don't have her hair.
Plaintiff Melinda Green says she was good friends with the defendant, and people often compared them to Thelma and Louise. Melinda claims she charged the defendant's wedding dress on her credit card, but she's suing because her former friend has yet to repay her. Defendant Ashley Cooper says Melinda was her best friend, and she was happy to have Ashley in her wedding. 4 months after Ashley wed, her marriage fell apart, and she insists she has repaid Melinda for a majority of the wedding dress costs.
Start with you.
Ashley and I have been, acquaintances for several years, and then probably 4 or 5 years ago became really good friends. We were like Thelma and Louise, and we always used to say that.
Aren't they criminals?
Well,
go ahead. All right.
At times we are so much alike, but then we're so opposite as well. And, there was a time we were on our way back from our daughter's horse show. We hit a deer. No big deal, but we
ended up in my bathtub.
Yeah. So
Hold on.
we tried to figure
Deer
out.
ended up in your bath?
It did, in the bathtub.
You're on the road driving. You hit the deer.
Yeah, it died. We called somebody
And
to
it was
come get it.
propelled into the bathtub, or you picked it
No,
up and brought it and put it in?
they drove it in, and then they were going to clean it. And he got the bright idea, because it was cold outside, to do it in my bathtub.
Got it.
I got home and was not very pleased.
All right. You give me some more background. You sound more interesting. Go ahead.
All right. Mindy and I were very good friends.
That's certainly
was
a
in my
criminal
wedding.
act. Kill something and put it in your bathtub.
Right.
Go ahead.
We did a lot together, and she was my best friend. I was very happy that she was in my wedding. And 4 months after I got married, my marriage fell apart.
How long had you all dated?
7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. What's he up to now?
I have no idea. I don't want to know. We're still legally married. That's in the process of.
Okay. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Just don't put him in the bathtub. Don't do what you did to the deer and put him in the bathtub. I know you might want to, but don't do that. All right. So why are you suing your good friend?
All right. So in May of 2016, Ashley and I had lunch one day, and she kind of sprung it on me that he jokingly proposed to her. I laughed and wondered if she was really kidding, because why would they get married when their relationship has been so rocky? But regardless of her decision, I knew I'd be there for her. And so they went ahead and decided to get married. In June of 2016, Ashley and all of us bridesmaids went up to David's Bridal to look at dresses, and Ashley found the one that she wanted that was on the clearance rack, which means you had to get it that day. We all found our dresses, and I decided to open a David's Bridal card to put my dress on it. And Ashley had asked me if she could put her dress on my card and she would pay me back. And I said, yeah, but I need to have the money by the time the first bill comes.
Hold on. That's not really how that happened.
All right. I'll give you your chance.
Okay.
So I said, do you have the money to pay for the dress? She said she was going to pay half. Her mother was going to pay the other half. And I said, okay, this is the only way I agreed. So first bill came. I let her know the first bill was here. And, a few weeks later, I'm reminding her I still need a payment. And she told me that her mom was not paying any of it, that she was going to have to figure out how to pay it.
Let me hear from you, ma'am, about the card.
Well, my other bridesmaid had offered to pay it that day, and Mindy said, "We'll just go ahead and put it on my card."
So she said it after the first bridesmaid?
Yeah, the other bridesmaid offered to pay
So
it.
why didn't you take the first one up?
Because this way, I figured I could make different payments instead of having to
the first
come up
one you
with...
wouldn't have been allowed to.
No, that would have had to... No,
Cash
she'd taken out
the
my
next day.
kneecaps. Yeah. So
All right. And tell me, what was the agreement on repayment?
I was giving her lump sums as I had the money, trying to pay cost of living, pay for
The
the wedding.
total amount was how much?
The total was $450.28.
Is that right?
I figured $480 with tax.
All right.
And all
And what
that,
was
so,
your
yeah.
payment agreement?
I was going to pay that amount.
And a lump sum?
Yep.
And did you?
And I was making like $50 here, $75 there.
But you said you would do it in a lump sum.
Not that day, no.
When did you tell her you would do it in a lump sum?
When we started fighting over the bill.
I don't know when that is. How many weeks after?
Months later.
You're being very evasive when people come with that.
months
I
later.
don't know. I said it. It may have been. I got to go through all this. That means evasive. Otherwise,
No, I paid
wouldn't have to go through all
$370 of what I thought was $480 I owed.
At what point had you reached 370?
Just last July.
All right. And do you have any evidence of that payment? Because you say she has paid how much?
$225.
All right. And how did you
last
pay
time-
the 370?
Just breaking
Cash?
it down. Yeah, absolutely.
You gave it to her? Mm-hmm. How much at the time? Do you recall?
50, 25, 75. One time, I believe
Never
it was
received
100.
those amounts?
I've received 4 payments. A 25, 50, 50, and 100.
There's 2 payments missing off of what she listed.
How much?
370.
No, the amounts. You weren't sure. You said 25 here, 50 here. She was sure. All right.
A
So
25,
once again,
a 25, 50, 50, and 100. The last payment I received was on 1/10/2017.
that's 225.
Plus another 75. There,
Oh,
there's
you
2
said
payments
only that.
missing.
No, ma'am.
there's 2
$719 is your judgment. She just keep making it up by the minute. Have a good day.
I just hope that, I'm glad this is getting taken care of and we can put it behind us. I mean, I love you regardless. I just think that you make poor choices. And
Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect.
Right.
You have a past too. so.
We can live and learn from it. So.
Plaintiff Shiari Harding dated the defendant for 3 years, but their relationship came to a sudden end when she found a used condom in his house. Shiari's suing her ex-boyfriend for an unpaid loan. Defendant Ryan Moore insists he and Shiari never dated, and their relationship was purely sexual. Ryan believes Shiari is only suing because she misses his skills in the bedroom.
Start with you.
I've been knowing the defendant for about 3 years. We started out dating. He was very charming. The relationship was nice. Everything came to a sudden end when I went over Mr. Moore's house
and started snooping around.
And found a used condom.
What you find? You snooping around like he said?
Rough and McGruffin. That's what she was doing. Inspector Gadget.
It was in his room.
He
It was
said
in-
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget. Going through phones and everything.
Why did you distrust him?
It's not that I distrusted him. I don't know. He's something else. He's very charming, and he has his way with women. So he.
But you only violate someone's privacy like that if you have a motive or you distrust them and believe there's something that you're being deceived about.
Well, that condom, I didn't go looking for that.
Oh, it was just laying right
Yes.
wherever you
Yes.
just happened to be walking.
Yes.
No, come on now.
So the condom, I found the condom in his room, and I asked him about it, and, of course, we got into a huge argument. I'm like, where did the condom come from? What's going on? Is there
What
something?
did he tell you?
It was his friends.
Oh.
I mean, it was. It was.
And what did you do?
Went off.
Went off?
Cursed him out from head to toe.
Okay.
And so after I found the condom, we argued or whatever, and I ended up falling asleep. And I woke up to a dozen roses. Back to his charming ways. So I woke up to a dozen roses. I wouldn't say I dismissed it, but at that moment, everything was okay. It was a little subtle. So after that, the trust wasn't there like that. I seen him periodically, but the relationship, it kind of went on a different angle. We were platonic friends. You know what I mean?
That's what we were the whole time.
Oh my God.
Let me hear your side, sir.
First off, why we here is because she misses the tornado and the twister. Those are the moves that I used to put down on her and get her the way she is right now, you know?
Excuse me.
That's why we sitting here, because she wanted a relationship and I didn't want a relationship.
Yeah, you get 5,000 out of it too, man. Yeah. How do you get 5,000? He must have did something right. I'm with him. How do you get this man 5,000? What's that about?
Because
Tornado and
You're
twister.
independently wealthy?
No, I'm not. But let me tell you, during the period of our relationship, when he took care of business, he owned a business.
That's what he said. He took care of business.
No, he was very business savvy. He owned a clothing store. He drove a Porsche. He lived downtown Chicago.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Off some other $5,000 loans from some other women.
And I came to find that out. He's never asked me for anything during the duration of our relationship.
So you volunteered the 5,000?
No. He came. So we were platonic friends. You know, after
he had his fronts.
Yes.
Go ahead.
That was through. So he was just telling me that, you know, he wasn't doing too well, you know, and he just needed some help. Keep in mind, he's never asked me for anything. So I didn't think he
How
was...
long into the relationship were you all?
About 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
about 3 years.
All right.
And I didn't know he didn't have the Porsche anymore. I didn't know that he didn't live downtown and his business went out of business. I didn't know that.
You all must not have been dating then.
Yeah, but he didn't tell me. He put on a front.
If you all were close, you would know that he didn't have his apartment, his Porsche, or his business.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was that bad.
Well, you all weren't close.
They were close during tornado season.
Yeah, tornado season, y'all were close.
You know, just change the forecast.
Go ahead, ma'am. Tell me about when you loaned him the money. Tell me about the loan, when you did it, and what was the agreement to repay.
And I actually gave him $5,400.
All right, he came to you and said he needed it to do what?
Yeah, he said he needed to do it to get back on his feet.
When?
This was the end of March.
All right. $5,400 end of March of 13?
Yes, sir.
And when did he say he would repay it?
He said he was going to give me my money back in about a month or so.
All right.
Now,
where did he say he was going to get it from in a month?
I guess with the money that I gave him, it was supposed to help him out to make more money, like he was investing or something. But he just assured me that he was going to give me my $5,400
You got a little
back.
con in you. I'm looking at you. You got that little con snicker in you.
No, he's the con artist. Wait till you see these text
Both
messages.
of you all seem like con artists. Sir, what do you say about this money she alleges you borrowed?
I mean, I took the money, but I don't feel like I owe her because she wanted a relationship that I couldn't give her or didn't want. I didn't want a relationship. So once I told her that, she flipped out and she started asking for her money back. And
when did you tell her that? You all had been dating for 3 years.
We wasn't dating. We never put a title on anything.
You were having casual...
I mean, we'll go out and have fun and everything, but there was no title.
We spent holidays together.
You must have been talking about tornado season, like you say. Go ahead, sir. So you all never had a committed relationship, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And yet she gave or loaned you $5,000. So which was it, loaned or gave?
She gave it to me.
All right. You asked for it?
I mean, I told her about my situation, and then she was like, well, I got something for you if you need it. I'm not going to turn it down, of course. So
all right, ma'am. You say he agreed to pay it in 1 month. You say you have some text messages.
Yes, sir,
I heard you say. What is it that you have?
That was my savings. There's no way I gave him.
What do you do for a living?
I worked at an insurance company, but thanks to him, when I gave him the money, he said, "Oh, I'm going to give it back to you." He contacted me in June on a Sunday. He did not bring. I haven't seen him. He changed his number, moved, and everything.
Let me see the text you have. What type of ring is that you have on? Is that an engagement ring or?
No, this was a gift.
Probably from her boyfriend she was seeing when we was together.
Judge, this man disappeared, changed his number. I went to his house that Monday, called off of work. He didn't live there anymore. He just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Who would
He
allow
knows that I
somebody
did
to
not
call their phone and threaten them like, oh, I'm going to get Pookie in and such to beat you up? And come on now.
What did you say?
I
It's in
told
the
her,
text
okay, if
messages.
that's what you want to be on, I'm not going to give you nothing. I mean, because what if they catch me somewhere and then do what she said they was
Why
going to do?
wouldn't you have said, I'm not going to give you anything because I don't owe you? Why would you say that if you don't owe her? You should have just said, I don't owe you. And here it says, you dumb bee, I was bringing your money this morning, but since your mouth so foul and you so tough, I ain't giving you S. You really don't know me, punk. B.
But that was after she told me she was going to get Pookie and
All
such
right,
and such.
for you to say you're not bringing her money, you're acknowledging that you owe her. $5,000 is your judgment, ma'am. I hope you don't get turned out like that again and give up $5,000. You let this man turn you out and you didn't even know whether he had a car to drive or not. And give him $5,000 off the top, on the dresser. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Nothing.
Nah, she missed me. She
Nothing.
do. She missed it. You called me yesterday.
I'm glad it's
You
over
called me
with.
yesterday. You
I'm
didn't call
glad
me
it's
yesterday?
over with.
You didn't call me yesterday?
No.
She called me for the tornado. She
No.
she definitely did.
It's crazy.
She did that.
I'm glad it's over with.
Look at her face. She's smiling. Look at that smile. Yeah.
Plaintiff Amanda Drummond says the defendant is her cousin, and they took different paths in life. Amanda claims she completed school and has always had a job, whereas the defendant ended up in rehab at the age of 17. Amanda's suing her cousin for breach of contract and punitive damages. Defendant Lucinda Stiles says she's been on her own since the age of 16. And by the time she turned 20, she was a single mom of 2. Lucinda says she now works as an erotic masseuse, and she claims Amanda is suing for more than she owes.
Start with you.
My cousin and I have always been very close. I used to help babysit her all the time, and I love her to death. But we just took 2 completely different ways in our lives. She dropped out of school, turned to party, and wound up in rehab by the time she was 17.
Rehab for what?
As far as I know, it was pills and pot, but I don't know what all.
What route did you take?
I got a job straight out of high school and have always worked, moved in with my mom and helped take care of her, pay her rent so that she can make her house payment.
Lived a productive life as opposed to a destructive life. That's your point?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what did she do after rehab?
She seemed to straighten out. She got a job when she got out. She had her first child. She was working at a desk job at a hotel.
Let me ask her about herself, ma'am.
Your Honor, I love my cousin dearly as well. She's right. I did party a lot through my teenage years, and I've been on my own since I was 16 years old. I dropped out of school and got my GED.
What were your parents or a parent?
I was raised by my grandparents, and they both passed away in 2006. My dad got murdered in April of 2011.
Sorry to hear that.
I've lived a very different life than Amanda, that's for sure. By the age of 20, I was a single mom of 2. I had a legitimate job, working 5 years at a desk at a hotel. I did have a relapse after my dad was murdered. My dad got murdered when I was 5 months pregnant, and when I had my child, I was prescribed prescription painkillers and did have a relapse for a little while, but now I'm back on track.
How did you overcome it? Because there's so many people on pain pills.
The first time I did go to rehab.
Unable to overcome it.
The first time I went to rehab. The second time I just did it myself.
And what are you doing with your life now?
I do massages, erotic massages. I advertise online.
What?
That caught your attention. You were thinking about something else until she said she does massages.
She said erotic massages.
Well, did you say erotic?
Yes.
There you go. All righty. What do you want to tell me about the plaintiff?
We're not as close today as we were, but we still talk from time to time. I love my cousin dearly, and she helped me in a time of need when no one else would.
All right. Now tell me about the contract you're suing her over.
She, like she said, when she became a massage therapist, topless masseuse, she was making really good money, but she couldn't get a apartment because she couldn't prove that she made money. And therefore she had no credit. Asked me, she told me she knew I was in some financial trouble at the time, and she told me, I'll give you $500 and you signed to get me an apartment because you got good credit. So I said, okay, that helps me and I'll help you. And I signed to get the apartment. The deal was that she'd pay the rent, and we got a year's lease. Well, everything was fine. She had a couple of hiccups with, she was late a couple of times, but always paid it. And then in December 2012, this was December 2011 that I got the apartment for her. 2012 rolls around, and they contact me and tell me that she's moved out and that we owed November's rent, and then they were prorating December's rent and told me that I owed $973. And I said, okay.
When you mentioned it to her, what did she say?
She told me that she would pay the money, that she had fallen on hard times. I believe that she was back on the drugs, and that was where the money was going, because you make $100 an hour, you should be able to afford $700 a month in rent.
How did she get up to $2,700?
April of this year comes, April 25th, 2013, I get a bill from a collection agency. And they tell me that I owe $973 in rent, $100 in late fees, $225 in cleaning, $220.91 in utilities, and $230 in damages.
Okay. Has she paid anything yet? Obviously not. You're suing for the total amount. Let's see your bill. Ma'am, what do you say to this?
I do owe my cousin money for the last month's rent. I don't have pictures to prove my case, but I did clean and leave the apartment very clean with the utilities paid.
You ruined her credit.
I believe I owe her for the last month's rent, and that's it.
So you ruined her credit there if we don't consider anything but the last month's rent.
And that's the punitive damages.
You didn't have any consideration for her on that, or is that when you had your relapse?
No, I didn't have my relapse then.
So what was on your mind? If you're making $100 an hour, I'm like her, and you owe $973, if you don't pay, they're going to take it to collections and hurt her credit.
Yes.
Yes.
Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Why didn't you pay?
I didn't have the money, honestly, around the time.
What were you doing with that money? $100 an hour?
It's not an 8-hour day. It's you maybe do one a day. I mean, I advertise online and I wait for someone to call, and that's it.
Well, you better get some better pictures online or something. That's not illegal, so I'm not advising you to do anything illegal. I'm advising you how to do your job better. Okay. That's all. The judge believes in helping people develop their career. I advise people. And if that's your career of choice, I'll advise you on how to do better. You have any advice, Doyle?
Yeah, I'll take the phone number from my buddies.
All right, there you go. He's going to get you some more business. All right, so the balance is for punitive damages?
Yes, sir.
And that's because of what?
My credit is shot. I can't get a car loan. I never thought she would do me like this and ruin my credit. And they literally laughed at me when I went in to get a loan, because my credit is so screwed up over this. And the extra money is to help me, pay off some of my, to help secure a loan so I can get a car, because I can't even get a loan unsecured.
She never even told you say that she hadn't paid it. Didn't say, I'm not going to pay, so please, to keep your credit straight, you go ahead and pay?
No.
Yeah. To obtain punitive damages on any lawsuit, you must prove that it was willful and malicious, meaning they kind of did it to hurt you. And although we're not clear on whether her intent was to hurt you, we know it was willful. So I am going to conclude that this was willful and malicious, and I don't know why you would do this to someone who has been so good to you. $2,749 is your judgment. Good luck to you. Judgment for the client.
I love her to death. She's almost like a sister to me. She really is. This has hurt me really bad because this happened. It shouldn't have had to come to this.
I love my cousin dearly.
Yes.